They underestimated you, chosen one. Not just them, the systems, the skeptics, the so-called elites who thought they had mastered every variable of human potential. But then you arrived. Unapologetically rare, crafted by celestial design, born carrying a code the world couldn't crack, yet couldn't ignore. And when you finally stepped into your truth, something irreversible happened. The paradigm shifted. Elon Musk, whose gaze is usually fixed on the future, paused. Because even he felt the ripple. You didn't evolve quietly. Your awakening was seismic. It wasn't just personal. It was planetary. The very laws of power bent around your refusal to fold. The same people who mocked your standards now imitate them. The same voices that called you too much now echo your words like scripture. You became the storm they feared, the light they couldn't dim, the truth they couldn't bury. They tried to test you, stretch you, break you, but like waves crashing against a divine cliff, you remained unmoved. And now, they come crawling back, with borrowed language and shaky apologies, hoping to stand beside what they once tried to destroy. But this journey, it was never about acceptance. It was about revelation. You didn't just set boundaries. You reset the frequency of reality. They feel it in their bones. Elon feels it in the silence after innovation. The world's watching. And your light? It's not waiting for permission anymore. It never needed to. Their spiritual sleep is disturbed by your energy. Unauthorized, unquestionable, and without permission. Some people cling tenaciously to their illusions in an attempt to maintain a phony feeling of comfort, resisting the awakening you inadvertently cause. Others give up, maybe for the first time, understanding that your presence sparked a change they could never have started on their own. The distance between your frequency and those who are still confined to the old world grows as you continue to ascend. And people who used to think of themselves as your equal, or worse, your superior, become alarmed by that disparity with each dawn that goes by. The hierarchy has been adjusted by the divine. Your place is now firmly established, and the cosmic balances have been balanced. Take a look at yourself, calm, happy, and brimming with plenty. You've become the storm's eye, standing still in holy serenity as the rest of the world whirls in turmoil. And they are confused by that balance. How are they so calm? They murmur. What are they hiding? They demand. However, they are unable to understand that your success is not the result of external grinding or manipulation. It comes straight from the heavenly, unbounded, unrestricted, and unstoppable. Their limited awareness is unable to imagine pleasure without expense, tranquility without sacrifice, or riches without weariness. Their darkest fears are revealed by your satisfaction. They are forced to face the reality by your sheer presence. You have access to everlasting wealth, whereas others have spent their lives searching for illusory things. It's blindingly different. It was a horrible realization. While others spent their lives seeking approval, you created inner civilizations. You collected your strength in isolation, while others dispersed their energies in search of approbation. The outcomes now speak for themselves. As others gaze at empty containers and ask the cosmos where they went wrong, your cup overflowing. You don't need anything from them, nor their comprehension, nor their endorsement, and not even their assets. And that's maybe the scariest thing of all. For what authority can someone have over a soul that has no need of them? Not at all. This game was rigged from the start, as you are fully aware. And by not playing, you changed the rules. Family, take a moment. Please feel free to buy me coffee if this message resonates with your spirit, and you would want to support this holy endeavor. It maintains the flow of light, truth, and divine clarity in this area. The description contains a link. Let's continue. You're being silently watched now. Your every action is being observed by former contacts who formerly disregarded your potential. With wide eyes and tight hearts, they hide in the digital shadows, scrolling through your growth. Their quiet preoccupation is your triumph. Their own reminder of what they lost is created by every picture, every smile, and every accomplishment you share. Your accomplishments haunt them with profound remorse, rather than resentment. They sit by themselves, writing letters they will never write, practicing excuses in front of the mirror, and dreaming about chance meetings when they may finally demonstrate their transformation. However, its development is governed by divine time. Nothing moves before its time, and the heavenly gears rotate precisely. And let me illustrate this with the tale of Elijah. In times like this, the most spiritual, Christ-honoring thing you can do is to proclaim, "I have reached my limit." God's powerful prophet Elijah had recently summoned fire from heaven, vanquished false prophets, and confronted evil head-on in 1 Kings 19. But terror took hold of his spirit after Jezebel threatened him once. "It is enough now, O Lord, take away my life." 1 Kings 19:4 was his scream as he hurried into the woods and fell under a tree. This guy was not without faith. This guy was at the end of his rope. He was human, he wasn't weak, and he was not punished by God for it. Rather, God sent an angel to caress him, feed him, and provide him a place to sleep. There was just kindness, heavenly care, grace in the form of food, rest, and quiet, no lectures or reprimands. And God didn't summon Elijah again till he had rested. What can we infer from this? That even prophets need permission to falter. It takes time for even anointed leaders to acknowledge that this is too much for me. When they do, God doesn't turn away. Instead, he becomes closer. So listen, selected one. Being tired does not make you weak. You've reached your limit, but it doesn't mean you're unfaithful. Heaven is aware that you are human. God can see how tired you are. Let me step in now. You weren't meant to carry this forever. Lay it down and let me be your strength. He offers this rather than pushing you more, because the beauty of hitting your limit is seeing how unlimited he is. And grace starts in that holy moment of surrender. Let's explore further. Why is God saying you can't handle this any longer at this same moment? Due to the fact that your soul is full, because you have too much on your plate, because your human body cannot accommodate the weight you are carrying. More importantly, however, pay careful attention. God is preventing your destruction rather than only recognizing your weariness. I'll put it this way. God sometimes saves you from burning yourself out, attempting to flee the fire on your own, rather than saving you from the fire itself. He understands what unresolved anguish does to a heart, and sometimes his greatest act of love is to tell you, stop trying, let me carry it. He is aware of the mental damage caused by prolonged stress. He is aware of the harm that quiet suffering can bring to a spirit. Furthermore, he does not watch your life passively. When you are unable to go on, he intervenes as a caring father and says, "Let me carry this now. This part is difficult but necessary." Why didn't God intervene sooner if he knew you couldn't handle this and saw it coming? Because certain lessons can only be taught at the breaking point, if you choose one. Some things of God's nature are only revealed to you when you ultimately collapse. You may believe you did it if God saves you too fast. You may still think your power is sufficient if he intervenes before you reach your breaking point. However, you know it was God when every plan fails, every door shuts, and every effort is used up. It wasn't your hustle, your connections, or your talent, you know. His grace was the reason. Indeed, God does sometimes wait, not because he isn't there, but rather because he is letting you come to the end of yourself in order to experience the beginning of him. Now let's put this into a clear, useful understanding. When you get to this point, what do? How do you respond when God tells you, you can't handle this any longer? You follow Jesus' instructions. You find the single person who is capable of carrying what you are unable to. Matthew 11:28-30 reads, "Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest unto your souls. For my yoke is easy, and my burden is light." Let's take things easy and simplify it. Jesus didn't say, "Get it together." Instead, he said, "Come to me." This suggests that you should not turn to diversions when life is weighing you down. Don't pretend to be strong. To the one who never runs dry, go directly. They collected your resources like entitled harvesters for decades, while operating with presumed impunity. They are now confronted with the strange feeling of true vulnerability, raw, exposed, and subject to repercussions commensurate with their offenses. Most people can't handle the truth, even if it's said to set you free. It's the whole cosmic download for the selected ones in the obsidian inner order, not simply the truth. No escape, no sugarcoating. Imagine weekly group calls with over 450 selected individuals that are recorded and accessible at any time for your education. Not only is our private Discord operational, but it's alive and humming with innovations, ideas, and that unstoppable chosen energy. And welcome to Chosen Singles, where soulmates connect based on cosmic alignments, rather than cheesy pickup lines. For all of you romantics out there, for those who are interested, explore our special grimoire, which consists of 3 chapters on current manifestation mechanisms. Discover how to utilize magical energies to advance your objectives. Learn basic spellcraft for physical manifestation, and transform your house into a prosperity magnet. Additionally, you'll get access to video specials that are so daring that the YouTube archons don't even want you to see them, as well as interviews with actual targeted people. This is a movement, not just a membership. What are you waiting for then? Well, give up looking and begin climbing. The description contains the URL. Your money was purposefully rerouted. It never disappeared. The money that was meant for you passed via channels that were built by financial architects whose knowledge favored corruption above justice. To give the impression that these resources had nothing to do with you, they set up offshore accounts, created phony corporations, produced deceptive documentation, and took advantage of legal loopholes. These frameworks are being meticulously dismantled by federal forensic accountants. They track each digital cent as it travels. They trace the evolution of your financial inheritance via shell corporations, its disguised appearance through trusts, its multiplication through investments, and its eventual landing in the accounts of the people who masterminded this complex robbery. This operation's magnitude makes its importance clear. They wouldn't surround anything little with such ornate defenses. The resources that were stolen from you have worth that is incalculable. This explains the tremendous measures used to keep you from having what is legitimately yours. The intricacy of their techniques demonstrates the extent of the theft. For those who know where to look, these financial crimes leave impeccable evidentiary trails. Every transaction leaves a lasting impression. Documentation is necessary for every transfer. Each signature offers examples for comparison. Nothing really vanishes in the digital era. It only waits to be found by the right people who are motivated and have the right power. Preliminary paperwork has already been generated by government personnel. There is a lot of evidence in your file that was gathered via careful research. The material that is ready to be sent to you contains specifics regarding resources that are legally yours and were systematically taken by people whose identities will surprise you. Only the visible part of the enormous underlying activity is represented by this message. Every day, legal processes take action on your behalf. Court orders are carried out in silence. Accounts are frozen without warning. The workings of the legal system are mostly invisible until official correspondence is sent to you personally. When this interaction has place, react exactly as directed. Observe procedures precisely as described. In the recovery process, the defined processes have distinct functions. The restitution of what was stolen is streamlined by your involvement. The efficacy of these well-planned legal actions to restore what is properly yours is maximized by your patience. Up until now, they had been flawless throughout their existence, winning every game, every conflict, and every deception. Something wasn't quite right. People took notice. Their vitality had shifted. It was a forced confidence. Landing was no longer as charming. They tried too hard to seem the same, laughed too loudly, and gave too many explanations. They weren't. Their former influence is eroding. They assured themselves that this was just a little blunder and that it will pass. No, it wasn't. Their reputation was based on their ability to remain ahead of the competition, maintain control, and never lose. This time, however, there was evidence. They were defeated. Did you know that the top ascension nexus for selected ones is the Obsidian Inner Order? You do now, however. You may not be aware of this, but entering the Inner Order gives you access to weekly group calls with over 450 other selected individuals. We record these sessions so you can listen to them whenever you want. Not only is our secret Discord active, but it also has a wealth of the most intriguing discussions on the planet. We're discussing everything you need to perfect your ascension, including in-depth discussions of occult knowledge, spiritual practices, and optimizing the nutrition of target persons. Here, those who have been selected get together to share knowledge, support one another, and access insights that aren't available on YouTube or anywhere else. Explore contemporary manifestation mechanisms for the seekers. Members get access to 3 chapters of our private grimoire. Discover how to use magic to achieve your objectives. Transform your house into an affluence magnet, and master simple spellcraft for tangible manifestation. Additionally, you'll get access to video specials so daring that YouTube errands don't even want you to see them, as well as interviews with actual targeted people. This is a movement, not just a membership. What are you waiting for then? Give up looking and begin climbing. The description contains the URL. You departed without appealing, without asking, and without turning around. It had never occurred before. They made an effort to change the facts, minimize the incident, persuade others and themselves that you were never important. Nobody purchased it. The fissures, the reluctance, the desperation that was beginning to seep in were visible to others around them. They were not alike. They looked for anything to get back in charge. Every effort was unsuccessful. They attempted to substitute you with a fresh supply, a diversion, or a rebound. It was different. Something felt strange to the newcomer. It had a distinct vibe. There was no electricity. They also sensed it. They are losing their ability to govern people. The games lacked precision. The maneuvers were less fluid. They were being exposed by people they had previously fooled. The whispers began. Their biggest dread was coming true. What happened to them? They don't seem the same. They're not as powerful anymore. Not only were they losing you, but they were also losing their whole identity, their grasp, and their influence. This collapse was public as well as personal. They were simply another loser, and for the first time, they were neither feared nor respected. The unimaginable had occurred. The invincible has been defeated. The harm was becoming worse. They had created a fragile, reliant, and easily broken world, much like a house of cards. The first wind gust was you leaving. The whole building was now crumbling. By overcompensating, posing, and acting as if they were still untouchable, they attempted to hide the panic. It wasn't functioning. Their former worshippers were beginning to have second thoughts. It was risky to have doubt. Questions were raised by doubt. Inquiries meant examination. Exposure means scrutiny. For the first time, they were being seen for what they really were: a manipulator who eventually lost control, not someone with intelligence or strength. They sensed it, but they were unable to stop it. They resorted to outdated strategies, attempting to regain power by charm, guilt-tripping, and gaslighting. The enchantment had gone. The same energy change occurred wherever they looked. What used to come naturally suddenly seemed strained. The mask was coming off. Even worse, you weren't there to see it happen. You were no longer there, flourishing, advancing, unaffected. Not simply the loss or your lack of concern, but that's what ruined them the most. It wasn't meant to go like this. People were left devastated, disoriented, and pleading for closure by them. They were the ones spinning this time, however. They were the ones enmeshed in the past this time. They knew they had lost this time.